a lot of things happen probably from then to now.
Hmm.
We talked yesterday about Yvonne gyms.
Hmm.
So what's the trail to today? How did you get into gym management or ownership?
So it was a really crazy road. After about a year after I got into shape, that's when I had to get a full-time job. And I went into the corporate world. I started interviewing, and I was already in shape, and I had already had, my breast implants. And so I walk into these corporate, places and sit for an interview. And I just remember walking through the building, and every woman that I walked past gave me a dirty look, like ugh. And it was obvious, and it was very uncomfortable for me.
Right.
And I just realized after interviewing at about two or three different places, I was not going to fit into the corporate world.
Mm.
So
When was this, by the way? What year?
this was back in 2005,
Okay. Okay.
2004, 2005, and
Before Me Too.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. So I decided to go into the fitness industry. I
Okay.
thought, you know what? This is what I'm good at. I know it. I have a program that works. I'm dying to tell all of the other moms out there about my secret.
Right.
And so I went to the local gym, a popular chain in my area, and I interviewed. And the person there who interviewed me, it took him like a month to get back to me. And I went to a different gym, same chain, different gym. And the manager there was like, hey, you're in pretty good shape. Have you ever thought about being a trainer? I said, matter of fact, I interviewed at the gym down the road, but he's not gotten back to me. She said, can you be here tomorrow for an interview? She interviewed me. She hired me on the spot. And I started, and I was so excited. 2 weeks later, I had my first client.
Another one.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and then he was mad. Ooh, he was mad. Because he was mad because within that next year, I became, year and a half, I became the top female trainer nationwide.
Wow.
I had a wait list on my schedule. I
Wow.
had, they based your criteria or your numbers on about 5 different criteria, and I was the leading female trainer nationwide. Out of 4,500 trainers, I was number two overall, number one female.
Wow. And so you have a lot to unpack there. Um, Breast augmentation in the workplace, in society alone, and um, when you go as far as you went, I don't think I've seen you like a before picture, but it's noticeable.
Hmm.
So talk to the women out there about that are considering it and like how is it self-esteem? Is it, what is the driving force? And then how do you navigate the attention?
Well, the first thing you have to do is turn off the opinions of society. That's
Mm,
first and foremost. Do not ask anybody's opinion. Don't ask your mom's opinion. Don't ask your friend's opinion. Don't ask your boyfriend's opinion. Make a decision. Look through a magazine, look through whatever, Instagram, whatever. Pick the size you want and do it. Do not ask for society's approval or permission for anything you do in life.
right,
That's number one.
right.
Uh, do what makes you happy. I tell people that for every decision they make.
Hmm.
And I have haters, oh my gosh, you're too big, you shouldn't have.
Right.
And my response to them usually is, I'll tell you what, I'll let you pick the size of my boobs if I get to pick your next tattoo. Deal? And I'm going to pick where it's going to go. So it doesn't have to work for everybody. Your
Right.
decisions in life, they don't have to work for everybody. They
Right.
only have to work for you.
Right, right,
You try to make one person happy with your decision, you're going to, piss off 5 other people.
right.
So why bother?
So, but it also comes with the consequences of those choices, meaning you had your issues, right off the bat with trying to work in the corporate world, and even in the fitness world, there's some hurdles because you can look at you and go, "Oh, she's just a bimbo trying to sell fitness. She's really not a trainer or knows her shit."
Right.
So you created a personality, definitely, but there's also obstacles in that.
You're absolutely right. You're right. You know what? If you walk the walk, you can definitely convince people that you know your shit. Okay,
Right.
so you have to know how to sell it. You have to, one of the things that people like about me is my confidence level, that I don't care that people don't like what I do.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things. So you have to own it. You have to make decisions. You have to own it. But you want to be able to prove to yourself, if nobody else, that you have the knowledge to back what you're selling,
Right.
what you're living.
Right.
So
Right.
you have to be it.
Yeah. And I surprisingly, again, I just met you and I just recently started following you, that you do walk the walk and you do know your shit, and your body has responded, as far as your program, it's working on you. And I really think that it's a testimonial to you. And I also think that I'm gonna guess, and I just had time to do a little research, and I feel like you've evolved. And I think sometimes people don't allow people to evolve, meaning you may have been even more sex appeal focused, and now you're moving into another version of who you are.
Great observation. I am rebranding.
Yes.
Yes, sir, I am. John and I, we talked on our podcast a little bit about that. When I first started, I wasn't on social media when I first started my fitness career. I dug my heels and I didn't want to be involved. I finally got involved, and when I had the person who managed my brand, when he was posting about what I wanted to be, I wanted to be fitness. I wanted to be, but we're a dime a dozen.
Right.
When he would post an article about carbohydrates, for instance, I'd get maybe, 100 likes. And then he'd post a picture of me in a bikini, and I get thousands of likes. And I wouldn't even know what was being posted half the time. So
Right.
I'd have a friend or family members take a screenshot and send it to me, and I'd be like, oh, where did this come from? Oh, it's on your Instagram. Oh, so it was like so embarrassing to me.
Right.
But I saw what he was doing, the person who was managing my brand. I saw what he was doing. He was gaining the followers,
Right.
and we did that. But I'm getting to an age where there's still a market for women my age who are beautiful, but we don't have to show it all. We don't have to do that. I don't have to do that anymore. I have much more to offer, being sexy, but just sharing my knowledge in health and fitness and wellness. So I'm going more into the wellness part of it all. I can
Yes.
still be sexy,
Yes.
but I can, because part of my program, I'm teaching people how to slow the aging process. Really, I'm teaching them that when you eat clean and you work out regularly, we're all dying every day.
Right.
We have less brand new cells being born every day than we do, dying.
Right.
But we can slow that process.
Right.
So it's more important to me to show that than it is to build my following.
Right. That's awesome. What I do like about you, and I really like this, that you don't use a lot of filters.
Nope.
You are who you are. I mean, sometimes no makeup. It's like, this is who I am. If you can't see the beauty in that, and I think that's so authentic, and I think keep doing that because it separates you from the rest of the fitness influencers.
I'm so glad you noticed that.
Yeah.
So glad, because that was something that I really dug my heels in from day one. The editing of the photos. I was when I would show up to a photo shoot, the best compliment I can get from my photographer, who I'd met for the first time, was, oh my gosh, you look exactly like you look in your pictures. I wasn't expecting that. They would have models walk in,
Right.
and they wouldn't even know they were the model
Right.
because they look so different than their photos. I
Right.
didn't want that.
Right.
I didn't want that.
Yeah, I think it's going to align with the wellness brand and the evolution of who you are in the fitness world, because it's so important, especially for young women, to realize that you don't need to put all these layers on, and basically you're not who you are.
Exactly.
And I know if you're going into wellness and, confidence and self-esteem and all those things, um, and how big social media is now, it's so important to help women navigate that. So,
Yeah, it's social media it's ruined people. It's actually put a lot of, as if we didn't already have a problem with self-esteem and
right,
the way we feel about ourselves and
right,
body dysmorphia,
right,
as if we already didn't have that. And now we have everyone looking so perfect.
right.
Well, how do you compare to that?
Yeah,
How do you do, it's just, ugh.
yeah,
I don't like what it's done. I don't like these new filters.
yeah,
And they've become worse and worse.
yeah. And but you also, and again, this is like kind of the layers of Linda Steele, which I'm getting to know, is that you, you know, breast augmentation. I saw one video you said I got a tan 3 times before, so you appreciate doing the things to look good.
Yeah.
And you think, and I think you believe that's part of who you are. You don't have to do it to everyone doesn't have to do it. But
Right.
that's who you are. But it's authentic,
Yeah.
and you're not shy about it. You share it. You're vulnerable, and that's important.
I think it's very important. I want people to know that, what you see is what you get with
Yeah.
me. I don't hide the fact that I get Botox. I don't hide the fact that I go for tans. I don't hide the fact that I got my boobs done. I mean,
Right. Right.
there are things that people need to, and I'll tell people, why do I get tans? Because when you're on film, you look whiter than you do anyway. It just looks better, so that's, and plus I live in Chicago. We don't see the sunshine
For
shining
5 months.
right. So, the what that does to your mood, and it enhances your mood. So there are reasons why I do it all,
Right. Right.
and I don't hide it.
Right. And I think all your fans, me included, appreciate it.
Good, good. I'm glad.